Hey, welcome back to Put It on the Podcast. I'm Elizabeth.
And I'm Andrew.
And we are here with our episode 9 of Put It on the Podcast. And we are so pumped.
Week 9.
Week 9. That's a lot of weeks.
A lot of weeks.
Yeah. Pretty excited about it.
It's not like we've had like the 4 week to 8 week. There's not really one of those.
However, 9 is a multiple of 3.
9 is a multiple of 3.
Yay. Perfect.
Neither one of us are math people, but
I'm excited because
math
next
people out
week
there.
will be our 10th week. And 10 just seems like a really cool number because it's double digits.
that's right. We'll probably take a week off for Thanksgiving,
We will,
but
for sure.
when we come back,
Better
we'll
than
come
ever.
back stronger,
Yeah.
and we'll be 10 podcasts down. 10 toes down, 10 episodes down.
Wow, so exciting. Well, this week I once again wrote a blog, and so here we are back in the accountability corner, where I am so excited to say that I wrote a blog called Lessons About Healthy Boundaries from the Vault. So basically, backstory to that is that my mom calls me the Vault because I hold things inside and I hold people's things inside. But I've learned a lot about how to draw boundaries in healthy relationships with people, because a lot of people have been asking me, like, how do you not get exhausted? How do you not get burnt out when you're, like, having really deep relationships with people? So anyways, just a few thoughts that I've learned the hard way.
There you go.
I've
Sometimes you gotta learn
learned.
things the hard way.
Man, I've learned them the hard way for sure. But I've learned them, so go check out the blog for your reading enjoyment.
Reading enjoyment. All right.
Yes.
And my part of the accountability corner is that I looked up the 5th borough of New York. And so last week I made a comment about 5 boroughs of New York, and I wasn't sure about all of them. But the 5th borough is indeed Staten Island.
Yeah, I was wrong. I
So-
said Long. I don't even know where that came
You
from.
said
I was just
Long
like,
Island.
Long Island. What is that even in New York?
It might be.
I don't even know where that's from.
So the
But-
5 boroughs: Manhattan, Brooklyn, Bronx, the Queens, Staten Island. 5.
5 boroughs.
Solid.
Solid.
5 Borough is actually a skate brand. I think they're from New York.
Oh, really?
So
Hey, it makes
that's
sense
fun.
now. Wow.
yeah.
Well, we've had some crazy weeks, crazy days this week.
It has been. Today was incredible.
Yeah?
I went out to lunch with my Charlotte family and another one, and we did like a dual family lunch.
Kind of like a date.
Like a date family lunch was like 6 dudes. And so
Yeah, that's awesome.
we went, and it was this place called Sushi Village. Check it out. It's in Ridgeland, and it's all you can eat buffet of sushi. You pay like $10, and then they just bring you buku amounts of food. And
How
so
many pieces of sushi did y'all eat?
we wrote it down. We like kept a count. And between
did.
6 of us, we ate 104 pieces of sushi.
Wow. Andrew mapped out everything on a napkin. It was very impressive.
It was incredible.
Yeah.
We ate so much food, and like I didn't even know what some of it was. They're like, "Hey man, this is a tofu thing," and I was like, "Okay, what's tofu?" And I ate some of that. I ate something called a shumai. I don't know what that is.
But you ate it.
I ate it. I ate like 2 or 3 of those. It was all really
so
good.
awesome.
We just ate a bunch of stuff.
Good.
Fun times at Sushi Village.
Fun times with your Shareth family.
That's right.
Well, I had a little bit of an adventure today. I went and got my oil changed all by myself, and I feel so grown up about it.
Look at that.
Look at me.
Accomplishing things in the real world.
I know, so I'm like one step closer to grown-up status, or one step into grown-up status, because I feel like I'm already kind of there, but like not really. Anyways, so I went and got my oil changed. It's quite painless, actually. You just kind of like go and say, hey, I need my oil changed, and they're like, all right. However she did, she was like, 4 cylinders or 6 cylinders, and I was like, lady, I don't even know what that means. So you're going to have to tell me. But she figured, she was like, it's okay. Like, usually people don't know. And I'm like, yeah, okay. So, but I did it and I feel pretty accomplished. But anyways, the reason I had to get my oil changed was because we are going to Laguna Formal this weekend in Memphis. So we're leaving tomorrow morning. We're going to drive all the way to Memphis. However, I've been a little bit nervous because all week my maintenance required light has been on in my car. Actually, I think the light's been on for like a month, actually. So there's that. I told my dad about it, and he was like, you probably just need an oil change. Like, we'll get it changed when you come home for Thanksgiving. Forgot that I had to drive to Memphis this weekend. So anyways, I was like, I probably shouldn't go to Memphis and back needing my oil change for the past month. So anyway, so long story short, had to get my oil change today. And it took away a lot of like nervousness and stuff that I had about, driving to Formal and using my car and stuff. So anyways.
Right. Let's kind of think about that theme, because this week has been kind of defined by this duality principle of anticipation.
The duality. Explain the duality behind anticipation.
A lot of times I like to think in things of like there's a positive and a negative side of everything, and so there's like a good and a bad, or like like a white and a black. So like
Yeah.
you're kind of thinking like yes and no, it's kind of binary code like a computer.
Like a dichotomy?
Like a dichotomy. That's a
Yeah.
good word. So
Yeah.
there's this dichotomy to anticipation. And so there's one side of it that's like expectant, and so that's kind of like hopeful or joyful, like
Yeah.
eager anticipation. And then the other side of anticipation is negative, and that's like nervousness or when you're scared about
Yeah.
something, and so
Anxious.
anxiousness. So kind of walking
Trepidation.
through both of those. Trepidation is a good word.
Yes. We like words.
Congratulations. Word of the week.
Yes. Well, we both experienced some of both sides of the dichotomy this week.
That's right.
Yeah. So you kind of started out a little anxious this week.
Yeah, Sunday I was writing a paper for Com Law, and I was like, I hate writing papers. Well, it's not that bad, but I love to write. But for Com Law, it's
Com
just
Law.
kind of like the same thing. You kind of get in this rut. And
Right.
you're like, you know,
Oh, yeah, totally.
But sometimes you kind of get charged by that, and you're like, okay, I've done my task for the day, and boom, let's go. So like,
That's right.
wrote the paper, let's freaking go. And so then we had a test on Wednesday, and
gosh.
so I hate anticipation. You know,
Yeah.
the negative side of anticipation.
That nervous feeling, like going into something.
And so I'm just waiting on the test. Got to study. Liz is like, hey, we're having a Harry Potter marathon at my house. And I was like, I would love to just go watch Harry Potter and not
know.
study for this test. But I did the right thing, and I
Good.
studied for the test.
So proud.
And I was productive, and we didn't have a Swan and Noah meeting late. And so I was even able to go to Cole's football game and see Charlotte play.
How cool is that?
So that was good.
Good.
And then I think I feel good about the test. So
Good. Well, it paid off because the next night we watched Harry Potter again. And so when he says marathon, we planned, my roommates and I, to do a Harry Potter marathon where we would watch one Harry Potter movie a night, starting whenever we chose to start. So Andrew's like getting us psyched about it. He's like, you just got to start. You just got to do it. Because we're like, when are we going to do it? And he's like, just put the movie on, and that's when that's happening. So we did. We started it on Tuesday night. Andrew couldn't come because of his common law test. We started it, watched Sorcerer's Stone. I think I fell asleep halfway through on the couch. But anyways, then the next night we had a lot of people come over. Andrew came over, and we watched Chamber of Secrets. And that was so fun. And that was kind of like the fun, eager anticipation side of the anticipation. Because I've been looking forward to this Harry Potter movie marathon for like 2 weeks. And so we finally did it.
yeah, it's really fun. Anytime you just like sit down and watch a movie with a bunch of your friends, you're like, you know,
So good.
this is what college is about. You're sitting around with your friends watching a good movie.
Yeah.
Mitch and I watched all of them last year.
Yeah.
And
They're so good.
they're good. Yeah.
My friend Verena actually came, and that was really fun. We've just like become really good friends recently, and she brought pumpkin ice cream and put it in the freezer and was like, y'all have to eat this. She's like, I'm not taking it home. And so Andrew like looks at Mitchell and was like, Mitchell, we're eating all of it. But y'all didn't eat all of it because there's a lot more than you thought, I think.
I thought there was going to be like a little bit of ice cream left, but no, they had eaten a few bites out the top,
Yeah.
and then Mitch and I opened it up. We're like,
Oh.
ain't no way we can eat
No
all this
way we
pumpkin
know
ice
that.
cream.
But we did enjoy some pumpkin ice cream. That was really fun. I'm really glad Verena got to come. Shout out to Verena Hart. She's really, really cool. She is dabbling and in filmmaking, actually. And she's actually really talented in it. So that's kind of what she's pursuing right now. And we really inspire each other with our, like, creative dreams, I guess. Like, my dream to be a writer, her dream to be a filmmaker. So that being said, we decided to hang out and get to know each other some more. So on Saturday, we went to Vicksburg, which is like 30 minutes west of Clinton, where we live. And I always drive through it on my way home to Reston, but I've never like explored Vicksburg. So we went and explored. We went to this awesome place called the Tomato Place. It's called the Tomato Place
Tomato
for lunch.
place. I saw.
It's literally.
I guess I saw it on your Instagram.
Yeah, I Instagrammed it. It's literally a shack on the side of the road. It's awesome. So you go in and like there's one building where they cook the food, and another building, and the front of it is like open air, and they have fresh produce that they're selling, and the inside is the restaurant section. So it was really, really cool. And then we went to downtown Washington Street, Vicksburg. We went to this coffee shop with an art studio like above it, and then a bookstore next door. And then we went and like explored the murals that lining the river. So it was a really good day with Verena. And then she came to the movie night on Wednesday. So there we go.
Yeah, look at that. All these connections.
Friendship.
I went to Vicksburg one time with my cousin Paige because we were like, we need to longboard in the big park there, like the state military park.
Oh yeah.
And so we're longboarding around, getting to the big hills, and then we got in trouble with like the state trooper police, and they're like, "Hey, probably shouldn't longboard in here." And we're like, "Okay."
Actually, I don't know. Okay, I don't know what you're talking about, but I did see this. There's this giant thing like right by the levees on the river. Is that what you're talking about? There's
like the boat thing?
Yeah.
That's at the back of the park.
Okay, because I saw that and I was like, I feel like Andrew would like to skateboard here. I've never skateboarded, so I don't know what a skateboarder sees and is like, I like this. But I feel like if I was a skateboarder, I would think that was fun.
That's a unique concept too, is the way skateboarders see. things.
Oh, okay.
I'm not good at skateboarding, but I've been around the culture a lot just from following it on Twitter and Instagram and keeping up with Tony Hawk through the years, playing the video games, and just really having an interest in that sport, watching the X Games a lot, and following Red Bull and other companies that, like Red Bull sponsors Ryan Sheckler. He's really good. So just following them, and then I love Thrasher magazine. Anything they do, it's just funny, and I mean sometimes they're kind of out there, but they're funny guys.
That's fun.
So anyway, but there's like you just see things differently. Like some people see 4 steps, and I think, oh, that's a 4 set, and like somebody would like kickflip down that, or like, oh, there's a rail. I bet you somebody could grind that. Not me, because I can't grind, but like somebody could.
Yeah.
So, like the way that skaters see that.
Interesting. You see things differently now. Like I would see 4 steps and be like, I might take those 2 at a time, or like I bet I could jump down all this. But I don't think like skateboarding.
No,
So
every
cool.
time I see stairs, I think, who could ollie that?
Interesting. Wow.
And the answer is usually Jaws could ollie that. So if you want a good YouTube thing, YouTube Jaws ollie, because he jumped a bunch of steps one time.
So cool.
We kind of got on a tangent there.
We did.
But another thing I was looking forward to this week was the first home game for MC basketball was last
Yeah.
night, and I was fired up. It
Yeah,
was
you were.
incredible. I've been working with Choctaw Sports Media with football, and so I've had the opportunity to work with David Nichols, who's the sports information director. And actually, Saturday, while you were in Vicksburg, I was in the Delta,
That's right.
which didn't go as bad as I thought it would go.
No, it really wasn't that bad.
Because we played them really well. I didn't like freak out and get scared by the Delta. I kind of realized some of the beauty of the Delta. Like it's a place for things to grow. And then it was in the off season right now because it's almost winter and everything was dying and dead. But
Yeah.
when the Delta's alive, it probably thrives. And there's like
Cool.
good things that come out of the Delta. So I kind of learned that this weekend.
Very cool.
And then got to chill with Dave in the box at Delta State. So that's kind of like a
That's fun.
nice connection moment.
Okay, do you usually go to away games?
I don't usually go to
It's
away
kind of your
games,
first away game?
But like this one, I was like, Dave, please get me in the press box. He's like,
Yeah.
yeah, dude, I got your back. And I was
So
like,
cool.
it's good to know somebody.
It's good to know
have
people.
somebody to take care of you.
Yeah. Well, that's really fun. I didn't get to make it to the Delta State game, but we're big rivals of theirs, right? Or they're big rivals.
Yeah, we're trying to like reestablish that rivalry
Yeah.
because we're back in D2 and
That's right.
the Mississippi D2 schools, and
Yeah.
boom, we're gonna beat Delta State.
Are there only 2 Mississippi D2 schools? I said Delta State.
I don't think we're the only ones that matter. I don't
Okay,
care about
yeah.
anybody else.
Totally.
Go Choctaws.
Go Choctaws. Well, that's super fun. I'm glad you got to go to
Yeah.
that.
Did you go to the basketball game last night?
I didn't go to the basketball game last night.
You missed
Sorry.
out.
I know I missed out. I was actually working, writing a bunch of blogs for
For
Chalk Talk. Yeah, that's what we do. But yeah,
It was incredible.
was it?
Like
How'd it go? How'd it turn out?
we beat them by like 20-something
That's
points.
awesome.
And so I'm friends with a couple of guys on the team just through church. And
Mm-hmm.
so getting to see them do well, like both Case brothers, I'm pretty sure, threw an alley-oop up to somebody. And it was just like they throw it up, the guy grabs it and just whoom,
That's so
slams it
great.
home. And I was like, yeah,
Yeah.
go Choctaws. And,
That's so good.
and then at MC, like you can sit as close to the court as you want.
Yeah.
So literally, Kevin Gray and I walk in, we're like, let's sit on the court pretty much. We're like
Sit
on
on
the
the
front
court.
row. And
Yeah.
so just getting that courtside experience is really fun. Just
Yeah.
Even if it's like going to my own school's basketball games, but it was a good time.
Good. I know you were so pumped about it. He left work and was like, I'm going to the basketball game. We're like, okay, yeah. So yeah, I'm glad you got to go. That's so fun.
And also shout out to David Fisher, the
Yes.
new STVO. He's on the basketball team.
Is he
And
really?
so, yeah,
How
the
cool is
Swanano
that?
girls were there to see him.
Oh,
And
that's
I
so
was like,
nice.
you go fish. You go.
You go fish. That is so great.
Go fish. No pun intended. I'm sorry.
That's funny. Well, we've had great weeks this week.
It has been a crazy week. And we, like, when we got in here to do the podcast,
Yep.
we mapped it all out on this big paper bag.
We did. This morning, actually, we were in graphic design, and the girl that sits next to us, Mary Elizabeth Stringer, who is awesome, and we really like having class with her.
Shout out to Mary Elizabeth.
Shout out to Mary Elizabeth. She came in with like some breakfast from Pimento's. She had like one of those like English muffin sandwiches and this gigantic bag. It was so, she was like, she talked about it for like 5 minutes. She was like, why is this bag so big? Like she just didn't understand. And Andrew's like, it doesn't matter. I want the bag. And so apparently you got the bag. I walked in late and last I saw, she was like eating her thing and Andrew had a bag and he was really excited about it. And I was like, that's great.
It's like a normal lunch paper sack, but bigger.
But bigger.
And so I was like, yes, I just want this bag. I don't know what I'm going to do with it.
Mm-hmm.
And I got it a Sharpie because I think that black Sharpie looks good on brown paper bags.
It's fun to write on a brown paper bag with a Sharpie.
And so I just wrote down like everything I did this week. And I was like, is this cool enough to talk about on the podcast? And I was like, going to McDonald's probably not cool enough to talk about on the podcast. Going to a Sharath meeting, it was fun, but probably not podcast worthy. And then I was like,
Eating cheese. That's probably not
Probably not
podcast worthy.
podcast-worthy.
Whoops.
but the sushi,
That was my contribution.
the big sushi place, that's
so cool.
Put it on the podcast.
So we mapped out our whole week on this brown paper bag, and we like prioritized the important things, and then Andrew drew some arrows around because that's how his brain works, and then that's how we decided what was going on the podcast. And then I was like, Andrew, my brain kind of works in lists and things like that, and so he was like, okay, so you need like bullet points and like underlines and subtitles, right? And I was like, yeah, that'd be great. And he goes, cool, and puts dots next to everything. Like, he was like, okay, basically we got some bullet points now, and just imagine that everything's left justified. I was like, perfect. So perfect. So anyways, shout out to our brains that work very differently.
They do work differently, but they work well together.
They do work
and
well
that's
together.
how the podcast works. So
Yes.
sorry you just got a weird look into the podcast creation side,
right.
people, but also you got a sneak peek into how we make the podcast.
Into the production
There's
side.
a duality. It's
Hey.
kind of weird that we talked about that, but it's kind of cool that
Crazy.
you got to hear about it.
Kind of cool. Well, I really enjoyed our talk about anticipation and the dichotomy therein.
Dichotomy. Are you excited about it? Are you expectant about it? Are you nervous?
Yeah.
What side of anticipation is it? Like expectancy or nervousness?
Well, I've once heard that the physical feeling of excitement is the same as nervousness. Like, it's the same physical reaction when you get nervous or when you get excited. So I think that's interesting.
It's the same thing.
Like, different things are happening in your brain, yes, but like your actual like physical
feeling are
the
the
feeling
same
and your
thing.
bodily reaction and response is the same. So who knew?
Who knew?
Anticipation.
Wrote it down on a paper bag. Paper blag. Do you feel like a plastic bag?
Hey, yes.
I was trying to make the Katy Perry joke.
Katy Perry. Do you ever feel like a plastic bag? Which is not an emotion. Thank you very
I don't
much.
think plastic bag, not an emotion.
Nor do they have emotions. So if that was your angle, there you go. Not happening.
Let's roll into the BQS,
The blind
question
question
segment, the best part of the podcast.
Yep. Love it.
All right, I'm ready to go with mine.
All right, go for it.
Have you ever put a whole donut in your mouth?
Duh. Oh my gosh. Who hasn't put a whole donut in their mouth? Yep, I have.
Okay, I have two.
I love donuts a lot. So I've probably put more than one donut in my mouth
At the same time?
Maybe. I
What?
mean, they're not that. You just stick it in, and it's like all like melt in your mouth substance. So you just kind of, there's more room once you put it in your mouth,
Just
you
eat
know?
another one.
So, not that I do that regularly. I don't sit around and stuff donuts whole in my mouth, but I have done it, and it's wonderful.
Yeah, Bryce Murray taught me how to put a whole donut in my mouth like this specific method. So
Oh,
shout out to
do
Bryce
tell.
Murray.
Shout out to Bryce.
You take the donut
Yeah.
and you squeeze it to like collapse the hole and makes like a bow tie shape.
Oh, yes.
And then you turn it and eat like the first half of the bow tie and then push the second part in.
Whoa.
And it's like the easy way to eat a whole donut. You can do it in
Perfect.
half a second. Boom, bam.
Boom, bam.
Eat a
That's
donut
awesome.
in a
That's
bite.
hilarious. I really like donut holes, though, as well. I could probably put a lot of those in my mouth.
Yeah, I could eat 40 donut holes right now.
Right now.
Actually, probably not because I just ate all that sushi.
Yeah.
I could eat 4 donut holes right now.
4. But if you were hungry, you could eat 40.
Probably so.
Totally. That's a great question.
How many donut holes can you eat?
Me? A lot. I don't know. Probably 40. I'm trying
If
to
you're
make.
listening to this and you comment on YouTube, comment how many donut holes you could eat.
Yeah, do that. How many donut holes could you eat? 40? Could you top that? Prove it.
Post a video of you eating
Prove it. I
41
mean, like,
donut
that's
holes.
cool. You just have to prove it. All right, so my blind question, for some reason, I've been drawn to childhood lately. Like, all my blind questions are like, hey, what about this when you were a kid? So this week's no different. So my question is, what was a gift that you always wanted for Christmas, but you never got it, and you wouldn't admit it to anybody, but you thought about it, and you were mad about it for a little bit, but you're cool now? But maybe you weren't mad about it. But what was a gift that you always wanted for Christmas, and you never got, and you still are like, man, I never got that. It's fine. You have one?
No, I usually don't really want anything for Christmas.
Okay.
But one thing I was really excited about was I wanted a unicycle for Christmas one year, and
Oh,
I was
yeah.
like, yes, let me get a unicycle for Christmas. And then I was like, kind of thought I didn't get it.
Uh-huh.
And then there was one package that was just like awkward and huge.
Unicorn
And I was
shit.
like,
Unicorn.
I didn't get a unicorn for Christmas.
Unicycle. Sorry.
Yeah, and in
continue.
the Christmas of 2004, I got a unicorn.
I got a unicorn.
His name was Pegasus. He had wings, you know. No. I got a unicycle in 6th grade, I guess.
Fun.
And it was awesome. You just ride around, do whatever you want.
That's so
It was
great.
fun.
We got one of my brothers got a unicycle one year, and we had a lot of adventures on the unicycle. I would always like cling to the car and be like, ah, and like not get it, but they were always really good at stuff like that. So balancing and being able to ride on the unicycle. But for me, I mean, I don't really have much either. Once I think I wanted a life-size Barbie. Really bad. Because I thought it'd be so cool because I had, my normal-size Barbies and they were fun to play with. But I was like, man, because I was really into hair. You probably don't care about this at all. But I was really into, like, doing hair at the time. And I was probably, like, 8. And I was like, man, life-size Barbies have long hair. So I really want a life-size Barbie.
You could do their hair.
Just so I could do their hair. Because I didn't have sisters, so I couldn't be like, hey, Michael, sit down, let me do your hair. Because he didn't have any hair. Buzzed head.
Right.
So that was fun. Also, it's kind of a funny story from our family is my youngest brother, John David, always wanted a kid-sized motorcycle every year. And so he put that on his Christmas list every single year. He probably started when he was like 3, and then he asked for one until he was like 10. 7 years straight, never got a kid-sized motorcycle, and every year we're like, is this your year? And like we figured out, like the older kids were like, he's never getting a kid-sized motorcycle. But we like tease him about it. We'd be like, get a kid-sized motorcycle? He'd be like, yeah. And we're like, no, you're not. But he never got his kid-sized motorcycle, sadly. But it's just funny. He always wanted one and never got one.
What a sad way to wrap up.
But I was going to say, I realized that as it's coming out of my mouth, it was very like dismal. But you know what? He's really thankful for all the things that he did get. And he is like not living miserably now for it. So kids out there, 8-year-olds listening, if you don't get what you want for Christmas, it's okay.
It'll be okay.
You're going to be fine. Okay.
Such a sad way. But it's okay to be sad sometimes. You can have a sad Christmas.
No.
Actually, don't have a sad Christmas.
This is so much worse.
Sounds like a Lifetime movie, The Sad Christmas.
The Sad Christmas.
No. We hope you all have a very Merry Christmas.
A very Merry
Christmas.
A very Merry Christmas. And if you're one of those people that's like anti-Christmas until after Thanksgiving, next time we talk to you, it'll be
after Thanksgiving.
Officially time where no one has to debate about when the appropriate time to listen to Christmas music is. We can just all listen to Christmas music and be happy about it. And yes.
We may just go psycho and talk about Christmas the whole podcast.
Christmas podcast.
Christmas themed podcast.
That'd be so fun. Maybe so. You'll have to check back and find out.
Find out if week 10 is a Christmas podcast.
That's right. Y'all have a great week and happy Thanksgiving. Eat a lot of turkey.